Ladies and gentlemen, I always see comments under my videos like, how do you invest your money? But that's not really a good question. And here's why. At this point, I'm investing millions and millions of dollars, but 90% of you aren't there yet. So what I do is not going to apply to you. But since you guys are curious, and I find this to be a rather interesting topic, I decided that today I'm gonna share how I would invest $1,000 if I wasn't a multimillionaire.
Before Iman Gadzhi became a global entrepreneur, motivational icon, and a self-made multi-millionaire and soon to be a billionaire, his life began in a far less Dagestan Kai Ogun, a small town nestled in the mountains Republic of Dagestan, Russia. Dagestan is not a place that pops up in travel guides or motivational books. It's rough, traditional, and largely underdeveloped compared to the Western world. It's a region known for its ethnic diversity, home to more than 30 ethnic groups, but also for its political unrest, poverty, and deeply ingrained patriarchal culture. Born on January 3rd, 2000, Iman entered this world in a place where most people never make it out. The streets were often unpaved, power outages weren't rare, they were part of life. A future in entrepreneurship? For most kids, that wasn't even a word they understood. From the very beginning, life didn't give him a head start, it gave him a test. Iman's biological father, like many men in post Soviet Russia, was a victim of the crumbling social structure after the USSR fell. He was an alcoholic, emotionally absent, and physically non existent. Iman never got to know him. The man simply disappeared before Iman even was born. There's a haunting truth to growing up without a father figure, especially in a culture that places so much emphasis on the role of patriarch. It leaves a hole, and for Iman, it created a void of masculine guidance, a lack of emotional security, and early understanding that no one was coming to save. His mother became everything, his rock, his protector, his provider. She gave up her youth to raise a son on her own, in a part of the world where single mothers were often looked down upon. But love doesn't always equal security. Raising a child alone in Dagestan was daily battle with poverty, isolation, and societal pressure. Growing up, he meant living in survival mode. There were motivational TikToks or success stories to follow. For most families, the goal was simply to make it through the work. Corruption ran deep, jobs were scarce, and the idea of freedom was foreign. Iman's early years were likely filled with the ambient tension of financial instability, cold winters, empty fridges, flickering lights, and an ever-present question, is this all there is to life? Yet, even in those harsh beginnings, the first seeds of a fighter's mindset were planted. When you grow up with nothing, you either crack under the weight of the world or develop the hunger to escape it. Iman chose the latter. His mother's silent sacrifice. While Iman has publicly credited his mother for everything, it's easy to underestimate just how much she endured. Imagine being a single woman, raising a child in conservative society, under-resourced environment with no money, no partner, no backup plan. She worked constantly, she cried in silence, she likely skipped meals so her son could eat. There were no holidays, no luxuries, no help. But what she gave Iman was something far more valuable than a toy or a trip. It was empathy, grit, and the unshakable message that if no one else will fight for you, you fight for yourself. The bond between Iman and his mother became one of the central themes in his life, fueling not only his success but also his why. Here's Iman Gadzhi's quote: "I'm not in business for Lambo or watches. I do this because my mom deserves the world. I owe her everything." Eventually, like many mothers who wanted more for their children, Mumian made the most critical decision of her life: to leave Russia. She immigrated to London in search of hope, opportunity, and a second chance at life, not for herself but for her son. The journey, however, didn't come with magic. It came with bureaucracy, culture shock, financial struggle, and having to start from zero in a city where no one knew their name. But the move from Dagestan to London was the spark. It was the moment the seed planted in broken soil began to grow. Leaving Dagestan wasn't just a change in geography. For Iman and his mother, moving to London was an emotional and spiritual upheaval. It meant saying goodbye to everything they had ever known: language, culture, food, and family. in exchange for a shot at a better life. But the West isn't always what it seems on Instagram. The real story isn't about bright lights and success. It's about loneliness, poverty, and an uphill battle against a system that wasn't built for people like them. When Iman's mother made a decision to leave Dagestan, it wasn't because she had savings or a stable job waiting in the UK. It was a decision made out of desperation, a leap of faith, fueled by a mother's love. They arrived in London with barely any money, no support system, and a language barrier that made even buying bread a struggle. They didn't move into a beautiful apartment or a cozy home. Instead, they landed in a council housing, the UK's version of government subsidized living, when broken elevators, graffiti covered walls, and crime were a daily reality. For many immigrants, this is an unspoken truth. You arrive in a new country with big dreams, but soon realize that you are invisible. No one hands you anything. You start at the bottom, and that's exactly where Iman started. The area they moved to was far from safe and glamorous. South London's council flats are known for being rough. Drugs, knife crime, and gang culture are common. It's a place where kids grow up fast or they get swallowed by the streets. Iman was differently from day one. He didn't speak English properly, he didn't dress like the other kids. He was constantly aware that he didn't fit in. I was the weird Russian kid who didn't talk much. I didn't have the right shoes or right accent. I didn't belong, Iman Gadzhi said. This outsider status didn't make him weak. It sharpened his edge. Instead of craving acceptance, he built an inner wall, a place where he didn't need to be liked, he just needed to win. While Iman was navigating school life and identity issues, his mother was fighting her own war. She worked brutal hours cleaning homes, offices, and toilets. She would come back with aching feet, carrying groceries in both hands, still smiling for her son. Also, Iman could have a future that didn't involve working class survival. They couldn't afford luxuries, even new shoes were a big deal. Every pound spent was accounted for, yet somehow she managed to provide food, warmth, love, and care in a home where hope often flickered like the faulty ceiling light. Iman had said in multiple interviews that it was seeing his mother suffer silently that lit the fire in him. At school, Iman didn't find relief, he found more resistance. He was bullied for being different, for his accent, for being poor, for not having a dad, for eating the wrong lunch, but where most would break or retreat, Iman built armor. He turned pain into power. He began to read obsessively, started watching YouTube tutorials, slowly built a mindset that most grown men don't even have. His environment told him he was worthless, but something inside my Iman, maybe trauma, maybe love, maybe sheer will, kept whispering, "You're meant for more." By the age of 17, Iman was already thinking differently. He didn't care about prom, he didn't care about parties, he dropped out of school, but not because he couldn't handle it. He dropped out because he knew he was wasting time. This decision was radical, especially coming from someone with no fallback, no rich dad, no safety net, but it was the moment that changed everything. From that point on, Iman didn't look for approval, he went all in on himself. London was never easy for Iman. It wasn't a city of opportunity, it was a grindhouse. It tested his resilience, attacked his confidence, and dared him to give up every single day. But instead of folding, Iman adapted. He learned English by consuming hours of videos. He learned money through trial and error. He learned discipline through necessity, not motivation. By the end of the phase of life, Iman wasn't just a kid from Dagestan anymore. He was a warrior in the making, a young man with nothing to lose and everyone to prove. Leaving school with no qualifications, no backup plan, for most people, that's a disaster waiting to happen. For Iman, it was the beginning of a revolution. This wasn't a romantic kind of entrepreneurship story you see in startup. It was messy, lonely, and raw. Iman didn't stumble into entrepreneurship because he thought it was cool. He had no other options. It was either building something or stay broke forever. Back in 2016-17, when most teens were scrolling on Instagram just for a few memes and selfies, Iman started studying the platform like it was a stock chart. He noticed something that others didn't: Instagram theme pages. Pages dedicated to cars, fitness, memes, and all the quotes were racking up followers like crazy. And they were monetizable. With no money to buy a page, he did what a hustler would do best: found a way in. He reached out to the owners, offered to grow their pages, learned how engagement worked, what content blew up, and how to sell shoutouts for cash. In just a few months, he had multiple accounts under his control, some pulling $400 a month. Not much, but for a broke 17 years old in a council flat, that was proof of concept. That was taste of freedom. While the most kids were studying for exam they'd forget in 2 years, Iman was binge watching courses, YouTube tutorials, and marketing breakdowns. He learned Facebook ads from obscure blogs and Reddit forums. He studied sales psychology by watching interviews of Jordan Belfort or Grant Cardone. He taught, he taught himself copywriting, design, funnels, and email marketing, not for fun, but because he knew these were the real money machines. This was the phase where Iman turned into a sponge. He didn't learn from teachers. He learned from all the wildest part of the internet. And more importantly, he implemented them. Starting his first agency with zero clients, after mastering Instagram growth and a bit of Facebook ads, Iman had a new vision. Launch a social media marketing agency. It was a bold move. He had no degree, no firm, no experience, no formal background, but he had skills. He called it IAG Media, named after his own initial. It was just him, a laptop, and an old desk in his mom's apartment. He opened Google Doc, wrote client list at the top, it it stayed empty for weeks. I got rejected over and over. Hundred of cold emails, DMs, calls. No one gave a damn, but each no made him sharper. The breakthrough came when he cold emailed a local gym and pitched them an irresistible offer. He'd run their ads, grow their Instagram, and get them leads. Or they didn't have to pay. They agreed. Within a few weeks, the gym started seeing actual results. Leads were coming in, engagement went up, and they paid Eman $1,000 at the age of 17. He had officially made four figures online, not selling drugs, not working at a cafe, but by running a service business from his bedroom. That thousand US dollars wasn't just money, it was validation. It was a signal from the universe saying, you were right to drop out, you're on the right path. Unlike Moftin, who would have blown that first 1000 on Yeezys or some dumb flex, Eman reinvested everything. He bought books on mindset, finance, business. He enrolled in Tai Lopez courses, Sam Owens programs, and Russell Brunson's funnels. He hired editors, graphic designers, and even experimented with building systems inside his legacy. He didn't want it to be a freelancer, he wanted to scale, to build something that could eventually run without him. During this time, things at home were still rough. His mom was working double shifts, the electricity would cut off sometimes, they were still surviving. But mentally, Iman had already left that life. He would work until 3 or 4 a.m., editing landing pages, testing ad copies, watching webinars. He wasn't chasing money, he was chasing freedom for his mom. The last year, Iman had closed multiple clients, built systems using Trello, Loom videos, and Google Docs, created proposals, contracts, and SOPs, automated his outreach process, started documenting everything on YouTube. He didn't realize it then, but he was doing what most startups take years to figure out. He was building the infrastructure. As Iman started documenting his journey, something clicked. People were resonating with his story. He wasn't selling a fake Lambo lifestyle. He was a real, hungry immigrant kid building from scratch, and that's what made people trust him. His YouTube channel started growing. People began asking for mentorship, courses, and coaching. That this was the seed that would eventually grow into multi-million-dollar education empire. Once Iman Gadzhi had scaled IAG Media past six figures, the questions started scrolling in. From DMs to YouTube comments, people kept asking, how did you start the agency? Can you show me how to get clients? At first, he ignored them, but one day it clicked. If this many people want to learn what I have done, why not teach them? And just like that, Iman Gadzhi, the educator, was born. His first course, six-figure SMA, social media management agency, grabbed like a bomb. It was raw, direct, and filmed in his bedroom. No fancy production, no Hollywood edit, just real strategies that Iman had used to scale his agency from 0 to 10K a month. Inside the course, he covered cold outreach framework, how to find profitable niche, how to run Facebook ads for client, hiring freelancer, etc. And the best part, he priced it cheap, around 497 US dollars, compared to overpriced, fluff-filled courses in the market. It was a steal. People loved it, word spread. Soon, hundreds of students were enrolling. Many of them hit a 1K, 5K, and even 10K a month. That first course wasn't just income, it became proof that Iman could scale value just as fast as ads. Six-figure SMMA, Iman realized he didn't want to be just another course guy. So he scaled the brand, grow your agency, live calls, script templates, sales mastery, etc. Case and Cure, a lesser known but powerful platform focused on mental health, mindfulness, and performance for entrepreneurship. Iman was no longer just teaching people how to make money, he was creating a full transformation money, mind, and mission. By 2020, Iman had done over $2 million in course sales, but an email list of 100,000 plus people. Had YouTube videos pulling 100K views each, a Discord and a community stronger than many elite masterminds, all before turning 21, but he still wanted more. In 2022, with Andrew Tate exploding the internet, Iman saw an opportunity to go global. He teamed up with like minded thinkers to reimagine education for men who wanted financial freedom, location independence, high performance living. He launched The Real World, a decentralized alternative education platform with e-commerce, crypto, all kind of real stuffs. Iman's educational success boils down to three things: credibility, community, clarity. From agency owners to info business king, in just few years, Iman had gone from helping dentists run ads to building one of the most profitable online education ecosystem on the internet. And this shift from service to scalable products is what captured his net worth past $25 million by the age of 2022. Before the suits, Rolexes, private jets, and Dubai skyline. Before the headlines, seven figure launches, and 800 million net worth projection, there was a teenager with a camera shooting videos in a dimly lit bedroom, uploading to YouTube with titles like How to Start a Social Media Market Agency in 2020. No one knew his name, but Iman had a plan. No, not just to build an agency, not just to make money, to build a personal brand that would last decades. Here's how he did it and how it exploded into one of the most powerful digital entrepreneurship brand. Explode and how it exploded into one of the most powerful brands in the digital entrepreneurship world. Iman's first superpower, radical honesty. Whereas others tried to look polished, Iman was real. He cursed, he talked about pain, he filmed when he was broke, he showed his struggles. People related to that. In an online world full of rented Lambos and fake success, Iman's rawness cut through the noise. Iman didn't play the game most creators play. He didn't chase clickbait or trends. He made 30-minute breakdowns on how to cold email clients, 45 minutes agency audits, full unfiltered vlog of his daily grind. It was long, but it was valuable, and the YouTube algorithm, it loved him. His average watch time skyrocketed, his videos began trending, and the comment section, they weren't just fans, they were believers. Every Imam's video starts like a mini movie. It never says, "Hey guys, welcome back." It's, "When I was 17, I skipped school for 3 months and nobody noticed." Something like that. Hope, intrigue, vulnerability, and boom. He combines brutal facts, cinematic visuals, and life philosophy in a way that makes you feel like you are watching a trailer of a millionaire origin story. You're not just watching YouTube, you're watching a journey unfold. From his editing style to the clothes he wears, every pixel of Iman's content screams class and clarity. Black turtlenecks, muted tones, sleek typography, minimalist visuals, smooth jazz and trap beats. He made entrepreneurship aesthetic. He made discipline cool. He made high standards sexy again. His production quality eventually got so high his fans started saying Netflix should take notes. And it's not a joke. His video editor is known for one of the best in the business with industry level visual transition and cinematic storytelling. Here's why Iman separated himself from every other YouTuber in this space. He didn't just sell how to do things, he sold why. Why you should wake up at 6, why monk mode matters, why instant pleasure is killing you. He spoke like a philosopher with a Rolex and it hit people hard, especially the lost generation of young men craving purpose. That's why you'll hear people say Iman changed my mindset, not just my business. As his influence grew, so did his network. He started collaborating with Hamza, self improvement king, Andrew Tate, other big names in masculinity, productivity, and wealth. These interviews and collabs supercharged his reach. They cross pollination of audience barred in a million of new eyes. And unlike many influencers, Iman wasn't afraid of cancel culture. He embraced boldness, he leaned into polarizing conversation, and it worked. By the time 2023 rolled, Iman's personal brand was a monster. YouTube had 3 million subscribers, 700k followers on IG, TikTok clips getting 100 million plus combined views, hundreds and thousands of email lists, monthly branded revenue 7 plus figures. He wasn't just a creator, he was a media empire. And all of this brand attention poured back into his courses launch, affiliate offers, product drafts, speaking gigs, real estate deals, crypto investments. Eman knew something most people didn't. If you can keep people's attention, you'll never go broke. And that's what his brand did. He kept attention, he earned trust, and then he monetized it like a machine. From mentorship to membership to massive launches, Iman's personal brand became his ultimate fun. Let's get one thing straight, right? Iman doesn't just post content, he creates cinematic experiences. And behind those visual edits and storytelling sequences, there's a secret weapon his editor, Anthony, the man responsible for making self improvement content feel like a Christopher Nolan's trailer. Iman didn't just hire a random freelancer editor from Fiverr. He scouted for someone who understood storytelling, could match his luxury brand aesthetic, was obsessed with details, and most importantly, could think like a filmmaker. When he found Anton, it clicked. And that's what Anton did. Let's break down why many people compare his YouTube videos to premium Netflix shows. Every video follows three-act structure: hook, a personal or shocking story. Example, I made my first $10,000 and my mom didn't believe in. Struggle, the journey, the chaos, the failures. Resolution, the lessons, the wins, the lifestyle edit. It's not just the info, it's emotional roller coaster. Hollywood level visuals, custom LUTs, smooth as butter transition, drone shots, B-rolls, speed ramps, motivational clips woven between shots, seamless sync between audio and story beats. Every frame is intentional. Nothing feels like just a YouTube cut. And when you pair it with Iman's storytelling voice, it becomes immersion. Anton doesn't use royalty-free music. He designs audio environments that supports the story, whether it's a lo-fi beat during a reflective moment, trap drum when Iman drops a powerful point, or orchestral build-up before revealing big lessons. It feels like Hans Zimmer meets hustle culture. From the fonts to slow-motion shots of Iman walking in tailored suits through Dubai, everything oozes prestige, action. Anton and Iman created a recognizable brand language, minimalist, high contrast, clear transition, and top-tier composting and lighting. That's why when you pause an Iman Gadzhi video at any point, it looks like some magazine cover. Let's be real, in an attention economy, quality equals to credibility. Because of this insane production quality, people bring his content for hours. They share it like short films. His retention rates are through the roof, and his sales conversion even crazier. Some people sell $5,000 courses with shaky camera footage. Iman sells $5,000 mentorship wrapped in a Netflix level storytelling. The ripple effect of Anton and Iman's lifestyle, every creator in the business started copying him. Same fonts, same black and white palette, same storytelling tone, even the music style. Iman didn't just raise the bar, he became the bar. Anton helped Iman turn 5 minutes talking head videos into global culture defining experiences that pull in millions of views and dollars. Iman Gadzhi's story isn't just about money. It's not about watches, Lambos, Dubai penthouse, or 8-figure exits. It's about transformation. From a broken home in Dagestani roots and London council flats, to building a private education empire that changed the way Gen Zs view school, to investing in platforms like Whop before anyone saw the potential, to creating a brand, a life, and a mindset that doesn't bow to any system. And through it all, one message stayed the same: be so good they can't ignore you. Then be so free they can't control you. While most 20 something chase dopamine, even Iman chases discipline. Where others wait for luck, he executes with militant precision. Where people beg for motivation, he builds a system that makes it irrelevant. He's not perfect, he's not pretending to be, but he's living proof that you can rise from absolutely nothing and design everything. Not just wealth, but freedom. Not just noise, but impact. So the next time someone tells you it's too late, too hard, or too risky, just remember a high school dropout built a near billion-dollar empire by 24, not because he had a secret, but because he built systems, set standards, and refused to quit. The world didn't hand him a crown. He built it and then moved to Dubai to remind himself and the world that king doesn't wait for permission. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye. Peace.